What if everything you believe isn't real? No, seriously. What if your version of reality isn't real at all, but a story your brain made up to feel safe? Most people never ask that. They just assume what they feel is true, what they believe is truth, what they've always known is a fact. But there's a line we rarely cross, the one between what feels real and what is real. Let's cross it. Subjective versus objective. The core difference. There are two kinds of reality, okay? Subjective reality is your internal world, your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, memories, traumas, religion, purpose. It's filtered through you. Objective reality is the external world, the laws of physics, DNA, historical events, gravity, time. It doesn't care how you feel about it. It's true whether you like it or not. The tension between those two defines almost every major disagreement today. Science versus faith, truth versus tradition, evidence versus emotion. And the truth is, both realities matter, but only one leads us to the truth. Why we trust our subjective reality. Your brain isn't built for truth, it's built for survival. Cognitive scientists have shown we evolved to create stories, not facts. We connect dots, even if they're wrong, just to feel certain. Why? Because certainty feels safe. In 2016, a Princeton study found something wild. Once someone forms an emotionally driven belief, facts alone almost never change their mind. We reject data that threatens our story. We cling to emotion even when evidence contradicts it. So when someone says, I feel like there's a God, or I just know my truth, they're not lying, but they're also not operating in objective reality. They're inside a belief bubble. The religion example. Feelings versus facts. Let's talk religion, because it's the clearest example. Someone raised Christian in Texas might say, I know God is real, I've felt him. But someone raised in Hindu in Mumbai would say the exact same thing about Krishna. Same subjective experience, different God. So who's right? Logically? Probably neither. The fact that multiple people feel truth about mutually exclusive gods is evidence that subjective reality cannot be trusted on its own. Let's be fair. Subjective experiences feel very real. Religious rituals, a person's love, a memory of grief, these things shape us. But feeling something deeply doesn't make it true universally. And if your truth can't be tested, measured, questioned, then it's not truth. It's faith. And faith, by definition, begins where evidence ends. Faith is belief without evidence. What objective reality actually looks like. So what does objective truth look like? It looks like evolution. Tested, peer-reviewed, confirmed across genetics, fossils, biology. It looks like the speed of light, like photos from space, like radiocarbon dating, disproving a 6,000-year-old Earth, like archaeological evidence contradicting biblical timelines. Objective truth is stable. It doesn't shift based on how you feel. It can be painful, but it's dependable. And most importantly, it forces us to grow. Because when the facts change, we should change with them. Why people fear objective reality. So why do people fight it? Because objective truth threatens identity. If you were raised to believe life has divine meaning, and science says there's no evidence for that, you're not just wrong, you feel attacked. That's not an intellectual response. That's a defense mechanism. When your beliefs are your identity, truth feels like violence. That's why people argue. That's why they double down. But truth doesn't care how uncomfortable it makes you. And the moment we realize that, that's when the real thinking begins. The bridge. When subjective and objective align. Now don't get me wrong, subjective meaning isn't useless. Love isn't measurable, but it moves us. Art isn't scientific, but it transforms culture. Purpose can be self-created, and that's powerful. The goal isn't to kill emotion, it's to stop mistaking it for truth. The healthiest place to live is where subjective meaning is informed by objective facts. You create your own purpose based on what's true, not based on what's easy. The evidence first mindset. That's what evidence first is about. It's not just science for the sake of sounding smart. It's the commitment to build your worldview on something stronger than feeling, stronger than tradition, stronger than comfort. It's about saying, I want what's real, even if I don't like it. Because that's what makes you free. The ones who question They don't have all the answers, but they're the ones asking the right questions. So if you've ever asked yourself, is this really true, or do I just want it to be, you're in the right place. This channel exists for people like you, people who want to understand the world as it is, not as we're told to see it. Start with evidence, end with truth. Subscribe, join the mission, share this with someone who still confuses belief with reality. Let's keep building a world where truth matters, no matter how uncomfortable it gets.